All right, so this is going to be part of the prediction series, even though it's dealing with information, a situation that happened long, long, long ago. I understand that the prediction series will be blunt for the sake of time. The whole point is to be short and succinct. And I also understand that some people will be uncomfortable with the subject matter and the frequency of the prediction series, like gossip and stuff. But quite frankly, if something's not been on my mind or heart for a while, typically I don't even talk about it. It has no video, okay? So we're talking about stuff that's been on my heart and mind for a long, long time, most of the time, okay? Unlike a lot of people, okay? So it is what it is, okay? I won't do anything that bothers my conscience, okay? So I'm not sitting against my own conscience with this series. Quite frankly, I think this series could be proved to be very beneficial for someone out there. Nonetheless, the purpose behind this particular prediction is a warning, a potential warning. I said potential because this is not prophecy or thus saith the Lord. So getting into it, I see a potential sacrifice with what happened with Whitney Houston and her daughter Bobby Christina. The thing that makes me very uncomfortable and why this is prediction is being put out as a potential warning is because from what I've observed over the years, I'm uncomfortable. We know a lot of people send with their blessing their sons, their daughters, their nieces, their nephews over to Hollywood. A lot of people, especially older people who don't do social media that much, are completely unaware of the potential dangers that are inherent of all forms of entertainment. And I will like to address, because I'm always that one, I'm that person who addresses stuff head on and directly. Yes, I do seek to be in entertainment. I am a singer officially here on YouTube that no one knows about, but still nonetheless I am a entertainer, a singer. Nonetheless, although that seems contradictory, if I'm not successful at that level, and it could be because of this. I won't go into that because so many people will presume one way or another that I'm being dishonest, but quite frankly, that might be why. I don't know. God knows, but I don't know. But nonetheless, if I ever were to achieve a certain level of greatness, it is not contradictory. The two things can exist at the same time. While I am yet a active singer officially on YouTube with a body of work that I have written and performed, while that is yet true, and I make these videos in regards to Hollywood and the dangers of the entertainment industry, the two things are very real at the same time. Do not lose sight of the point and listen with intent when you do listen to people, so you can know what you are hearing and discern it properly and dissect it. So these two things are happening at the same time, and if I were to achieve a certain level of success, because what I am saying is very true and not false, I would indeed be brought to a point where I would have to make a decision. Ladies and gentlemen, whether it is worth it for me to continue to pursue the career and what exactly that would look like, because it is true. Mind you, also, I'm a mommy and I need money and stuff like that, like everybody else. And I also have talents and gifts, just like you have talents and gifts and hobbies and stuff and dreams, all that. So you have to factor all of that in. Then it makes sense when you discern every part of the situation. It starts to make sense, okay? But understand that with the information I'm telling you, it's true for me too. I'm also more formidable than most people because I'm going in knowing what the situation is and going in with knowledge. So it's not like I have no idea. I'm the one making these videos. It's also that it is so dangerous, in my opinion, that literally, if ever I was ever to be offered something big or a big deal or a big venue or something, I literally would have to, because what I'm saying is true. I would have to decide if even I would walk through the door, because it, in my opinion, this is not prophecy, is a very dangerous line of work. It should not be, but in my opinion, it is. And I don't think we know half of it. Okay, quite frankly. I could be over exaggerating it in my mind, but I think that we don't know enough. I feel as though we don't know. And I think a lot of people who look normal in the entertainment industry, they're just used to abuse. They're used to dysfunction. I'm going to just be so plain with you. I do not for a minute think that everybody who seems okay on the outside is okay. And I feel as though to presume that, I feel is very dangerous. But nonetheless, I'm going into it once again because for that purpose, okay? And I probably will not do this disclaimer for a long time to not interrupt the shortness of the prediction series. So getting back to Whitney Houston and why might consider heeding this just in case, or praying about it or something. Okay, the entertainment industry, potentially very dangerous, potentially a lot of demonic, and we may not know the half of it. Like, they might be able to do movies. If they ever find out what's happening behind these scenes or in these back rooms or in these elaborate, beautiful mansions, they could do movies. I don't know. But quite frankly, I proceed with caution towards the entertainment industry because there could be things we don't know that it makes it so much worse than what we know. There have been people, and I think that people should heed this, that it's not just rumor, that necessarily that people should not be silent. If they don't have a spirit, if this strikes someone as rumor mill and stuff, I think that's insane. To me, it strikes as a caring person that's telling you that the direction that your family member or you may be going in could be fraught with danger. At the very least, be happy that someone told you, so you know going in you have a different mentality. Things are so much worse. You know how many people had horrible things happen to them, and it was doubly traumatic because no one told them anything. They were blindsided. Okay? So before you go into that contract room, before you go to that person's mansion, before you assume because everyone loves them and everyone knows them that they're perfectly safe, and before you send your child to hang out with them because you love their body of work, listen to this video. So I feel as though it is potential that Whitney Houston, who was a darling, okay, and many people, I feel they shy away from that because of her African American heritage, but she was indeed a testament to the United States of America. She was a darling of all peoples. Okay, she was a mainstream darling. She was pure. She was seen as pure. Her body of work was based on sheer merit and competence. She was beautiful, she was eloquent, and she was pure. If you admit it to yourself, Whitney Houston was like, in her best days, she was like unto a black Taylor Swift. That's how beloved Whitney Houston was. Even playing a part, ladies and gentlemen, alongside Kevin Costner. Everybody accepted Whitney. But then there came her husband, and I don't even remember what his name is. I think it's Bobby Brown. Her husband came in to the scene, and I believe that it's potential that diminished her pure persona and the hypocrisy, because this industry may be guilty of some of the worst things that you can't even wrap your mind around in regards to hurting and harming the human spirit, the human body, just crimes against humanity, because hidden in splendor and elegance. But really, if you really saw through it, it's so much dirty, so much evil, and so much ugly. But you can't see that part, can you, right? Because that's not the part they show. And so on one hand, there's a potential where there's hypocrisy, and I hate hypocrisy. Now, I don't mind standard, but I hate hypocrisy. And why does it go from standard to hypocrisy? If you are potentially molesting, raping, trafficking people, but yet then you hold Whitney to a standard where she cannot potentially marry someone that takes away her pure image. I feel as though it's possible that something horrible may have happened to Whitney. She was punished. She was punished severely, fatally. That reminds me of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. You take this woman, and I don't like her choice of husband, but you take this woman who has served you and served the American people and served the whole world globally, who has been your darling. She makes a very horrible choice, in my opinion, and she goes off into the ditch. But you punish her with death for that. You don't silence her. You don't dismiss her. You punish her with the ultimate fate. I believe even if it was done, I believe that something potentially was done to this woman, and you need to know, because why is it, oh, be quiet, you need to think about Jesus, you need to meditate on Jesus? Of course I do, but if I see an inherent potential danger, I'm gonna let people know. There's people that are sending, you're considering sending your beautiful son and your beautiful daughter to Hollywood right now as I speak, and you need to know this. So if your beautiful son or beautiful daughter, let's say they do everything right, everything perfect, and then they marry someone that Hollywood, can you imagine being your son or daughter being put to death, and Hollywood does things 10 times worse? They remind me of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. They do all this. It is as if Taylor Swift married some type of drug dealer or right now, and they put her to death. That is unfair. It is unfair. It is unkind. It is murder. And it is murder even if you find a way to do it through an algorithm, you find a way to do it through trauma. Nonetheless, when you intentionally come, especially if you come together, that's a conspiracy. And there are no courts that can handle such things, because we're dealing with now we're into the realm of principalities and powers. How can I kill someone who is no longer giving me the persona that I want them to have? Basically, essentially, they are a rich superpower slave. You want them to be your slave. And now you've decided, because they're no longer obeying your orders, as a Sadducee, as a Hollywood Sadducee Pharisee, you decide that now that is worthy of death. What also lends itself to that this is just not all my imagination? Maybe, because it could, I'll handle that later. What happened with Christina, nobody puts two and two together. Nobody watches intently and puts two to two together. It's either before or after that happened, the death of mommy, because that was her mommy. So severe trauma. Before this happened, where Whitney was potentially traumatized to where it would be worse than they weren't kind. The entertainment industry wasn't kind enough. They weren't even kind enough. They weren't even real enough, because they do far worse. But we're talking about the spirit of murder, conspiracy, and utter hypocrisy. Because you are no longer the pure darling, you deserve to die. And frankly, what could be so bad? That's why I believed it is potentially there. What could be so bad that a person accepts that if they were not somehow deeply traumatized? So I am disappointed with the media. They so many times say this person just died, this celebrity just died suddenly. But of course, I don't expect them to investigate supernatural events. I don't expect them to investigate conspiracies where no one did anything illegal. They just all came together to make this person's life a living hell, so that they can know that because you have people who they will live with everyone hating them. They will live being poor. So it has to be something you do that is so bad that they're like, I have no choice but to let you kill me. So I consider that whether they put the pill, the person puts the pill, or gets in the water or something like that, that what led up to that, it can still be murder. Okay, so I put 2 and 2 together that before or after this event, there was what looks like a human sacrifice, possibly of a virgin, not to be crude or anything, but possibly of a virgin. But this is a very young girl, one who is pure, one who should be protected, one who no one should have any beef with or any malice. And this very young girl who should be pure, protected, and no one in their right mind would have any malice, like a black Snow White, is her daughter. Now that she is gone or will be gone, because I forget which one happened first, but baby goes, and her daughter goes and dates the brother, the adopted brother. And frankly, I wasn't bashing because it was adoption. I do not believe that's the best thing to do. But because people need to be able to move forward, and I could tell that something terrible was going on in this family, that I, for one, gave them permission. Now, of course, we all need God's permission, but gave them permission. Not biological brother, but no, I don't think that is most expedient. But that seems like a humiliation ritual. And I'm thinking, what? And unlike many people, I'm like, what made this happen? So that is, I'm going to stop right there because that is the prediction. You need to know, I disagree with any ministers or any people, and I know that's bold, but I disagree that this is all this prediction series, rumor and all that. I highly disagree. To have this, the seriousness of what I'm saying is so serious. To not say it, I feel, is a sin. That is a sin, in my opinion. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm going in. And frankly, I know I'm telling you because I'm not being dishonest. Dangerous. I'm pursuing the music industry. It's obvious. You can see the check mark. That is a dangerous industry. It's a part of Hollywood. It's a dangerous industry. So we all shall know, and if you feel like it, you can pray for me. But it is a dangerous industry. I will not come off of that because it's the truth. I stand on the truth. Okay. Before you move, consider, I could be wrong, but I could be right. It's what it is. Bye.